Hey everybody, this is Calvin with Calvinomics. Thank you for joining me today. It's March 2nd, Tuesday. It's been a very, very wild week. And it's only been 2 days, and well, I mean Sunday. If you include Sunday as the beginning of the week, some people say it's the end. I believe it's more of the end as opposed Monday's the beginning. Anyway, oil prices. The last couple of weeks I made a series of videos talking about silver, gold, metals, how to buy silver, different silver pieces, and so on. I want to talk about something a little bit different, and that is the price of oil. So right now, the price of oil has gone about 5% today. Over the past 5 days, 13. Over the past months, about 12. I'm just going to round that up, $12, and so on. This is because of what's going on in Iran. There were some bombs starting to get dropped over the weekend. So now all the fear is out there, right? That it's gonna be terrible, blah blah blah. Well, these things happened before when I was in high school for a while. Then it kind of died down and so on and so on. So who really knows? The problem is that Iran, Strait of Hormuz, they are closing that. And if you look at the Strait of Hormuz and where it's at, you can see here, there you go. Now, there's a lot of oil that comes out of this region. So if you close this area, you're going to have an issue because now oil can't get out. China gets a lot of oil from Iran and from the Saudi Arabia from this area. So now China's going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem. And I've already seen gas go up 50 cents. And we were getting down to 2.49, and now it's back up above 3.39. However, gas prices over time, even though oil prices are at 75. It's been much higher, especially during Obama's tenure, as well as the end of George Bush. As you see, during George Bush, it just started to climb, climb, climb. George Bush Jr., and then Obama, and then it started to fall, basically, kind of around the end of Obama's second term. Trump got into office, it climbed a little bit, then COVID, and so on. What's different though is it feels like when I was paying $4 to $5 a gallon for gas, I was still able to make it pretty well. And that's because food was still relatively inexpensive, rent prices weren't as high, electric prices weren't as high. However, nowadays, if gas goes up to $5 a gallon, and in some places already 6 or 7, places like California, it's going to start to be an issue because a lot of things are produced with oil. Semi trucks use the gas as well, so they get stuff around. A lot of things are made of plastic. Plastic is a derivative of oil. So if this war, the short war, it could be a short war, it could be a long war, but if it starts to escalate, I mean, you see these oil prices turn around, which I feel like looking at the long term chart, it's kind of slated to do. It's gone up. It really ran up during the middle of 2022, 2023. Then it's crashed. However, it's a very volatile market. So this could be the start of high oil prices. And it felt like just when we were getting a break, there you go. Well, the dollar, if you ever heard of the dollar index, what happens is the dollar index, when I Googled as well as AI, it's a measure of the value of the US dollar relative to a weighted basket of 6 currencies: the euro, yen, pound, Canadian dollar, Swedish krona, and Swiss franc. And when there's a war or something chaotic, people pile into dollars as a quote safe haven. You might hear this all the time. When this happens, it causes the dollar to rise. Now, it's been rising over time. It rose over the course of today, but it's also been falling. As you can see here, all the time it's down. I don't know where this chart is at. I wish I could click. Oh, there we go. 1 year. I was using a different chart before. 5 years, 10 years. And I remember during the Obama times, it was really low. It was fairly low. A lot of currencies, I mean, it was like $1.60 for it would basically take $1.60 of ours to get a euro, to get a British pound. It would take two of our dollars, and so on. But as you can see, it's been very volatile. I don't know if it's going to come back up. It really topped up. It was really high over here. Then it just cratered during the mid 80s, kind of bounced up. 2000s again went up. And it's just been kind of hovering back and forth. But usually, when there's a time of crisis, people pile into dollars and the price of the dollar goes up. Now, how is this relative to what's going on with silver and gold? Well, if the price of the dollar goes up, hard assets, metal, silver, gold, I can even probably type in, I didn't even do this, platinum prices today. Chances are it's fallen. Yeah, it fell $225. If I say palladium prices today, chances are that has fallen. Yeah, there you go. And if I do, and I'll actually leave that one open. If I do copper prices today, chances are that's fallen. Geez, there we go. Laggy site, man. Some of these sites are so laggy. Anyway, I'll wait till that loads. Actually, I'm going to exit out of that because that's lagging me. So I'm just going to go to the home screen here. I don't like when these sites have all these ads because then it lags. So let's do copper prices today. Oh, yeah, it fell. Now copper prices aren't really that high. It has had a huge run up over the course of the last year, hitting all time highs, but still, falling 12 cents is not gonna, but still, 2%. Platinum down 10%, gold down 4, silver down 8. So if the price of the dollar rises, this most of the time, as I've seen over time, will cause metal, precious metals, to fall because the value of the dollar has risen. Now, it could just be for a short time. So when I was making the other videos, I said that there was a highly likely chance that silver prices would fall for a while. It would kind of bounce around this area, basically 84, 70, low 80s, maybe go to low 70s again, and then just kind of level out for a while and then start to go back up. Because there's always that fear in like a couple days or a week that there's this major thing, and then people just kind of get settled into it. They're just like, well, another day at the office, it's the Iran war, yeah, people are shooting missiles, so on, and it's forgotten. So it doesn't really dismiss the fact that eventually, over the course of the past month, gold's only been up $164, which is actually fairly low. You look at 6 months, 1,400. However, I could then see that eventually the dollar, if this continues the way that it's going, unless it gets crucially bad, like critical levels, then silver and gold will tank. The reason why also is that there's talk of data centers being built out there in the desert, which they produce enormous amounts of heat and need a lot of water to cool. So why they're doing that blows my mind, unless they can have some type of self-sustaining without using so much water. But anyway, those data centers use a lot of precious metals. But if all of a sudden a war breaks out, well, you're not going to need all those resources for that area, at least for the time being, or there's going to be some type of delay. Hey, we're going to push this, etc., etc. So it's kind of curious. I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to play out. I do think gold and silver will go down a little bit more, especially if there's some crazy headlines over the course of the next 24 hours, like some more bombings, or someone launches a major attack, or there's a big group of people that have been killed, something like that, which is very, very sad. This is not a great situation for anybody, but it is what it is. Whether or not you agree or disagree, I personally don't care. It's just happening. I have no control over it. However, it's all about how you respond to what's going on. So if you're thinking about putting your money into precious metals, this could be an okay time. I'm going to put silver prices, JM Bullion. This is one of the sites that I use. And chances are, I haven't actually checked this today, that you'll, like, from where I was making the video, is about a week ago, we're having silver coins over $1, or 110 bucks. Now it's probably be like 90, 95. Oh, see, this is still kind of high. This is still around $100 because silver prices are at 82. So if silver falls again, if silver falls again tomorrow or stays at the same level, these prices will fall. And I'll probably make a short video tomorrow just to go ahead and confirm that. So anyway, talked a lot about a lot. I talked a lot. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. It's been quite a day. I have talked a lot about different things here, from the oil prices, silver prices, gold, and so on. So just kind of hang tight. But if the dollar keeps rising, which it's usually because of fear, there's a war, these things happen, then you will see gold, silver, and whatnot fall. So if you're thinking about buying some silver, some stocks, mining stocks, it could be a good time, because war eventually is good for business. However, there always is the short term, like knee jerk reaction to get out of a certain position and sell. And so you see things, even the Dow Jones today fell like what? Okay, I think it was down like up to 800 points. It recovered pretty good. You look at the New York Stock Exchange today, that was down 400. So that was about, so you could see here, actually do today, last 5 days from 800. Today was only 400. I know it was down to 800 at one point or even more, but it looks like it recovered fairly well. So yeah, this is knee jerk reaction. These things happen, but if this just kind of continues day in, day out, and it's just people shooting missiles, it's people get used to it, and then everyone just kind of moves on. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.